and today I will be discussing the dangers of cancel culture in America and how it reflects aspects of a dystopian society. To understand the issues that cancel culture presents, we must first come to a general understanding of what exactly cancel culture is. According to Cambridge Dictionary, cancel culture is a way of behaving in a society or group, especially on social media, in which it is common to completely reject and stop supporting someone because they have said or done something that offends you. This mindset has seen a massive spike in prevalence amongst our population over the past few years and presents a plethora of issues for our society going forward. It's no secret that the current political climate in the US is very tense and divisive. That being said, it should come as no surprise that cancel culture not only adds fuel to this fire, but also lessens the chance of any positive change happening at all. For a country built on the premise of liberty and freedom of speech, the idea of canceling fellow citizens simply because of their viewpoints seems dystopic in and of itself. However, the future implications resulting from this kind of culture are the true dangers threatening our society, and it is up to us to stop it. Everyone wants the world to change, to be better. But what needs to change is often disagreed upon amongst ourselves, especially in a free country like the USA. That being said, the most effective, easiest way for us to implement change that truly improves our society is to engage in civil discourse and debates. While these two terms are quite similar, they both serve a unique purpose while simultaneously achieving similar outcomes. In both civil discourse and debates, the end goal is for both parties to come to a definite conclusion between two viewpoints based on the information presented. However, these two terms differ in their way of reaching this end goal. In the case of civil discourse, the objective of both parties is to gather new information about a topic and enhance their understanding of the issue by hearing what other people have to say. A debate is done with the intention of changing the opposing side's opinion by proving their point wrong and solidifying their own with facts and logic. Both debates and civil discourse are necessary in order to achieve the greatest outcome for the greatest number of people, without leaving anyone feeling as if they had no voice in the matter. Cancel culture poses a major threat to these kinds of resolutions necessary for our nation to prosper. Silencing other people's ability to be heard based on a disagreement between viewpoints is a dangerous practice that only snowballs in its effects. No positive long-term change will come from censoring those we disagree with, regardless of our emotions. If there aren't people and ideas that change the way we think and force us to question our own opinions, then there is no way to grow as a person, and subsequently no way for us to grow as a society. However, the ideas behind cancel culture have a place in our society, but not in the way that they exist now. The only acceptable use of canceling someone is if that person or group did something immoral or illegal that is thought of as wrong by the vast majority of society. This is not a new premise, as it has existed throughout various civilizations in history. Back then it was called shunning. When a citizen had wronged their own community, they would be shunned by all of their fellow townsmen. This serves two purposes: to punish the wrongdoer for their acts and to prevent others from following in their footsteps. This is the fair extent to which canceling should be allowed. However, in modern times, canceling has begun to feel dystopian, as it is done not for the wrongdoing of an individual, but simply due to a disagreement amongst personal values and beliefs. That being said, like today with cancel culture, there were many people who believed that shunning was wrong and created more problems than it solved. As said by John Guss in a PA Book Libraries article, shunning, although specifically mentioned in early Anabaptist and Mennonite documents, had been regarded by most as a symbolic gesture that was not to be enforced literally. Many Swiss bishops like Hans Reist felt that literally practicing shunning would be unchristian and would drive those who had left the group even further away. Many people today have similar views in regards to cancel culture. Canceling someone often pushes the person away from society, which often leads them to join radical organizations and groups. This could all be prevented by engaging in a calm debate to help educate that person on the opposing argument and come to an agreement from there. However, that is not how the world works today, and more people seem to be fine with canceling their peers. Unfortunately for us, the threat of this kind of dystopia is already here, and it is very real. As we continue to turn on one another and silence each other's opinions, corrupt figures with power will use this division to push their own agendas for the country. This is a real threat to our way of life, and it should be taken seriously by all American citizens. By convincing people to silence their peers, powerful figures can continue to spread their ideologies without any sort of rebuttal from their oppositions. This is not a new idea either, as it was previously used and perfected by Nazi Germany in a similar extent. Author Gavin Mortimer of The Spectator said this in a recent article. While similar propaganda is driving today's purge of Britain's past and present, often the tactics deployed were actually perfected by the Nazis. Within months of Hitler's power grab in 1933, the German book trade had issued a blacklist of more than 200 authors, and university towns made pyres of their work and joyously set them ablaze. While this example may seem a little extreme, the ideas behind it are the same that power the current cancel culture movement in America, as we have seen the cancellation of world-renowned author Dr. Seuss and hundreds of other unfortunate figures. Regardless of whether or not you agree with another citizen's views, by canceling someone and removing any possibility of a debate, you not only disregard their feelings entirely, but also disregard the principles that America was built on and soil our system of democracy. The threat is real, and the danger is here. We as a people have become so infatuated with politics in recent decades, and our way of life has suffered tremendously from it. Cancel culture threatens to destroy the foundations of which our country was built on, and it is up to the American people to stand in its way. We need to come together, put our differences aside, and really listen to what everyone has to say. You can't trust the government to stop it because cancel culture benefits them too much, nor can you depend on political activist groups as they all have their own motives and agendas. We need to engage in civil discourse, have debates, and then come to a conclusion that doesn't disregard the concerns of half the population. It is impossible for our society to continue forward if we don't continue together. America was built on the unity of its citizens. From revolting against the British to the attacks of 9/11, the only reason our country stands today is because of the love and camaraderie between its citizens. However, that bond has been damaged in recent years, and cancel culture looks to finally tear us apart after everything we have endured as a nation. So I ask all of you to put your differences aside and join together with your fellow citizens. After all, we are the United States of America, and it's about time we start acting like it.